So welcome to this edition of ROV Meditation Practice Tips. And today, Stephen and I are going to talk about the ultimate technology and how it's right here and how you can use it and take advantage of it and grow through it. And so we live in a time that's really obsessed with our technology, and whether it's these things on our heads or these things that we can't seem to live a moment without, we love to have the latest technology. And we're very focused on all the information that's available through this technology. And while it's an amazing tool for communication, for gathering information, it also has its limitations, because it can put us into a very limited sense of who we are. We can tend to think that we are just the information that's processing in our minds and our brains, or the images that we're seeing through our eyes. So it can give us this very small world that we live in, and it can actually interfere or block us from the ultimate technology that we live in. This ultimate technology right here, this mind, heart, body system of 30 to 40 trillion cells. That's an estimate that's been made. 30 to 40 trillion cells. Can you even fathom what that means? An even more amazing thing about 30 to 40 trillion cells, they're all working together. They're all constantly communicating with each other. Every cell is in constant communication with every other cell through electromagnetic signals, through biomechanical signals, through chemical signals, and through emotional information that is transferred immediately through the whole network of connective tissue in the body. So we have this integrated bioenergetic information system that functions as a whole. And it's just phenomenal. It's amazing. And we barely understand it, and we barely tap into its powers. So today we want to talk about how to tap into the powers that are here in your body, heart, and mind, and how opening up the communication through this system and attuning to what's available in this system, this ultimate technology, is what opens up our relationships with others, our health and well-being, and our relationship with the cosmos and all of life. And we are living in a system that is connected to everything on a level that's beyond our conceptualization, but we can have felt experiences of that change our world. So I'm going to pass over to Stephen. He's going to talk about the basic dynamic of the communication that happens within ourselves, between ourselves and each other, and with the cosmos as a whole. So Stephen, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you, Kevin, and love and blessings to everybody. Yes, just as Kevin says, we're in this constant communication, not just with the cells, but with each other and with the cosmos itself. And in many ways, I woke up this morning to the feeling that we are the mother of the universe. We literally are that cosmos, that life flow moving through us all the time. And so in that sense, we're in constant communication with the universe, with each other, and with ourselves, with all of these dynamics, all of these energy systems. And in many ways, in every moment, we have an opportunity to be totally open to that information flow and energy flow. We have an opportunity in any given moment. There is the possibility that this energy of our body, heart, mind can be returning to peace, tranquility, serenity, in any given moment. And that often depends on our awareness of this openness. And so if we take communication as an example, just as Kevin was saying, that our cells are communicating openly to each other all the time, right? And we can use our relationships with people to see just how aware we are of this openness, because we know that, for example, when you're in high energy and uplifted energy and raising vibration, we can be in a energy of love, of unconditional love. And when we're contracted and we pull that energy in, you can actually feel it, right? There's fear, there's tension. Our cells no longer, in simple terms, are communicating in that easeful and effortless way. So if you consider simple communication with another human being, I was saying to Kevin this morning, every time I sit down with Kevin and have these communications with you who are listening, right? It's very open, it's effortless. There's this awareness of this vast opportunity here to share these incredible powers, this ultimate technology that we are every single time we sit down to have this conversation. Now, equally, and I'm sure all of us know, there are times that we go into a board meeting or into a meeting with a certain relative or with a friend that perhaps is having real trouble accepting the pandemic from whatever angle it is. And they've got certain views and they're really harsh views or they're really contracted views. And you come away from that meeting or that communication with them and perhaps you don't feel so open, right? Perhaps there's not such an easeful flow. So every single moment that that is happening, we actually have the opportunity to open, and this is really the cells communicating with each other at the same time. We have an opportunity to open our awareness and to allow and to make space for that difficulty or that tension in a much bigger way than we did earlier. And this actually turns us right into the cosmos. When I said we're the mother of the universe, it's like a mother and the baby, right? The mother is not going to ever close off to that baby. The mother's always present. In the same way with people, we can be allowing and open and keep opening to any point of tension. And this does something really remarkable, right? In our being, it starts to open us to the real opportunity for unconditional love in every single event, to the real opportunity for surrender, for peace, for tranquility in every single occasion, even those ones that give you the most tension. There is this incredible opportunity for liberation. So when you look at life, we can consider our ultimate technology in all those from all those perspectives. So we can consider the ultimate technology is either open, like I'm describing, and so communication is a good way to test it, or contracted, right? And then you're not using the ultimate technology. You're just simply not going to avail yourself of any of your communication tools or awareness tools or the openness of the cells even to give health by communicating, by being given the space to communicate. Equally, we can be clear, so we can have clarity, or we can be foggy and confused and lose perspective, right, on things. So when we're clear, we're using the full capacity of this ultimate technology to receive and be open to energy and information. In the same way, when we consider indivisibility, we're never separate, right, from each other, from our gardens, from the universe, from ourselves. We're simply indivisible. The moment that you understand the nature of awareness, you know that there's no identity or form or history or past or future connected with the boundless, indivisible aspect of being, right? That part, when you turn inwards towards that awareness, you simply find that by its unfindability, that it's vast and infinite, and that all the infinite opportunities of life are in that ultimate technology of openness, allowing the cells to communicate healthily, allowing this opportunity for openness to actually be present. So we know that the opposite of indivisibility is separation, right? Is divisibility, is division and separation. And the times that you get into those challenges with, opinions, beliefs, ideas, and concepts, those are divisive just by their very nature. So when you understand indivisibility, you start to avail yourself of the opportunity of the universe itself to be indivisible and unobstructed and open and flowing. So, and as I mentioned in the beginning, this high energy power of our ultimate technology is always there for us. It's always there when we're in a loving or compassionate or tranquil or peace or serene inward state. And equally, if we don't avail ourselves of that, and instead we treat situations with fear and separation and push things away or grab onto them, then we're going to be in either attachment or aversion or ignorance or some form of fear. And we're not going to be able to avail ourselves of that unconditional love. And I was thinking of a couple of examples to share with you. And I'm going to put them in terms of these Dantean energy centers, because, you know, it's very important for us to consider how this ultimate technology works in different ways from different perspectives. So one is obviously the brain. So many of you are connecting with technologies and using them to ideally inform you about your signature, inform you about like how the orchestra is playing in your brain and what kind of melodies it's playing at different times. And a few days ago, I was walking with my daughter down, so we've got an old Zen temple in a forest, and there's a lovely pond near there. And I was walking past, and we actually stop and we make a joke every time we walk past this pond about this little pond, you know, that it's got a life of its own, that it's actually like us, right? That pond has its own ultimate technology, right? And my daughter always says, "Oh, what do you think it's thinking there?" I said, "Well, you know, we should tune into it one time." Well, I just a couple of days ago in meditation, with just completely spontaneously and effortlessly, I became the pond for goodness knows, I don't know how. And the I is not really a reference point here. It's really meaning the mother of the universe became the pond. And I was able to perceive in such a profound way the entire being, the entire cosmos from the perspective of the pond. And of course, it's open in such a different way. It's like when you think about, you know, cows, they see the world in a different way to us. They see it in orange, right? And when you think about different animals, they actually have different perspectives in the way that they actually perceive the world. Well, it was the same with the pond. I recognized that the pond didn't perceive the cosmos in the same way as I did. And that was a complete aha. It was like a flip of this brain, this mechanism that we have that sort of perceives vision in a certain way and hears things in a certain way. Well, from the pond's perspective, it was not like that at all. It was a bit like the cow seeing the world in an entirely different way, or the bees, that they don't see the colors of the flowers in the same way as we do. So it was a real aha. And so that was one. The second one was this heart, the open-hearted awareness, when we're really communicating with each other with open-heartedness. Then this mid-Dantian area, which, as we know, has an electromagnetic field, the heart is generating and has a field of influence that we know when somebody's in a really good mood, we actually genuinely feel it. And so this open-heartedness gives us such incredible opportunities to embrace every single situation in our life, everything without exception, to actually embrace it with this. And this is why compassion, many of the ancient traditions, has been spoken about as being so incredibly important, that you do things like dedicate your practice when you wake up and dedicate your practice at the end of it to other beings, right? It's not about us trying to gain benefits for ourselves. It's about us being opening and allowing to this incredible, precious human lifetime to help liberate each and every one of us in every possible way, in every moment, right? That's what presence really means, that every single moment offers you this infinite opportunity for freedom or liberation, just as any tense moment does. And then lastly, the lower Dantian is, you know, Kevin and I have been practicing Kriya and raising energy and Tummo and inner fire practice, all these kinds of different practices that generate energy in the lower Dantian. And when you truly connect with that power, this ultimate technology of the lower Dantian, there is a genuine, you know, current. And so, you know, we are measuring the current of the brain, And I fully acknowledge, and I know the wonders of doing that, where we're learning more about the heart. And, each of it, we've got different measurements, but I don't think they fully yet measure this incredible opportunity to avail ourselves of the ultimate technology of the heart. But equally, even less research has been given to these energies of the lower dantian. And we know from martial arts, I'd done 20 years of Kung Fu and other Qigong and other practices, Tai Chi and sword play and so on, that we actually use those lower dantian energies in much the same way as they do to encourage Shakti and Tantra, or the Qi and some of the ancient Taoist practices, or inner fire in Tibetan Tummo, or the power of prana and kriya, that these lower energies are genuine, real, and you can feel them. You feel when you're connected, this higher energy, this ultimate technology of that lower dantian, when it begins to work, you actually feel a flow like a current. I mean, I can best liken it to the poles of a battery, that your one terminal at your crown, the other terminal at your perineum actually begin to energize and create an electrical charge, and they flow from negative to positive, from negative, they flow around until they actually fully activate this inner electrical charge. And once again, they're all examples of ways that your cells open up and communicate. And this ultimate technology that's within you that we're not measuring. So there's very few measuring systems on our planet today that I know that measure Chi, Prana, Shakti, or that inner fire, or that Kundalini at the base of the spine. And yet all the ancient traditions describe it. It doesn't matter which mystical tradition you look at, they describe the power of that inner Shakti, that inner Kundalini, that inner fire. So when that opens, you become really present to the fact that this ultimate technology has infinite possibilities. In many ways, in the traditions that talk about emptiness is, people have struggles, understanding, oh, what do you mean by emptiness? It actually means that there's no bounds, right? Emptiness has no edges or boundaries. So it's literally infinite. Emptiness, another way of saying it, I always think these days, would be to say the infinite possibilities or opportunities of the ultimate technology are right here. So in that sense, our ultimate technology is both empty and full. So Kevin, it's a little, excuse me, I kind of went into
it was wonderful, Stephen. Loved it. So, yeah, and I love that principle, that just basic principle of tuning in and being aware of openness versus being aware of being contracted. And that's something that we can constantly monitor and be mindful of, pay attention to in our meditation practice. Whenever any tension comes up, rather than shove it aside, we're aware of it, we welcome it within this wide space, this open space of awareness, and we allow it to speak to us and move through us and flow. Same thing in our relationships. We can notice moments of tension, and if we're paying attention, monitoring our inner state, monitoring the interaction, we can feel when there's tension and use that as a moment to let go and open up and allow that tension to be creative and to liberate and to create a new possibility in that moment. Same thing when we're interacting in the world, or we're seeing something on our technology or on the news. We can notice when we're starting to close in and get divisive and critical, and use that as a moment to open up and let go and allow energy to flow and allow new possibilities in our own minds. And that carries out into our collective consciousness. So we want to thank all of you for watching us here, for your practice, and take this principle of monitoring that openness or that contraction and using every moment in meditation and in life as an opportunity to liberate into awareness. So thank you, Stephen, and thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again sometime soon. Bye for now.